The Vakala boxers, man. I don't know. You can't see nothing. I'm just saying that could be anybody with Vakala boxers.
I share about the near ones. I thought so. Here's the thing. I thought I actually have a near plush, but I couldn't find it. It's probably somewhere still in this room, but I just couldn't find it when I was packing.
Yeah, that's fair. I like how some people are like, you predicted it. I'm like, I've been predicting it for 2 years. Let's
I
not.
mean, that's the same as everyone saying it's this time it's Sandy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
It's
we would
like
just like throwing if you throw the same dice over and over again, it'll eventually be the right one.
this time for certain. All right, anyway, let's get started with stuff that we didn't do while we were on vacation in Las Vegas. So, hey everybody, it is Granblue Radio number 374. It's been a very eventful week that we took mostly off because we were in Las Vegas.
And
And
good thing the stream is later this week.
yeah, also we're going to be off schedule for the next Granblue Radio as well because Friday night I'm pulling an all-nighter. Ooh, baby. All right. So
I'm gonna be
anyway,
watching Idol Live while also watching your stream on the side.
which idols are going this week that you're
Shiny
watching?
colors,
It's shiny. Okay.
life for fun.
All right. So, um, we've got Dread Barrage going on. Dread Barrage is mostly a catch-up event for people like us. Um,
We just
and so
do our stuff and then leave.
and
It's
it's just
dope.
like, hey, look, I'm gonna buy this Lapis Merit and then be on my way. So I like when it runs. However, I also don't invest very heavily when it runs. So we're moving on.
Yeah, it only runs like what 2 or 3 times a year, anyways.
Yeah. So this is what we've got for this year, though. We had a couple of new releases. So people like me who are Idolmaster fans got a kick out of the combination of Cucouroux and Hallessena in the same banner because
Yeah,
that's an idol.
unfortunately, Folia was last year.
Yeah, that is Love Laika. It is a unit in Cinderella Girls that
That has like one song.
it does, and but still, uh, the important part is that it existed, and it took up the LL in Cinderella. Anyway, so which one do you want to talk about first, Cuckoo or Hale?
Doesn't matter to me really. I
All
have
right,
both of these, but I've only done Kukuru stuff.
all right. So let's start with Cucuroo then. Um, we're gonna go straight to um the meat and potatoes of this. And so it's like, all right, so she's got the Narmea passive, right? Bonus light damage to critical hits on normal attacks. Um, and then, so it's like, all right, she wants your entire team to crit. So there are two different light crit grids. Um, interestingly, light magna has moved away from crit over the last many years, and it's gone. And meanwhile, like light primal can get away with just dedicating 2 slots to crit, but also had been moving away from it. So this is sort of a way to get it back. Um,
Isn't Xenophon's weapon also crit though? Is it amplify on
Sandal,
crit?
yes, the AFS,
Yeah.
yeah. Admittedly, I only see that in short, like in numbers in very short fight grids. But we'll look at this whole kit and see. It's like, oh yeah, okay. So when a light ally crits on an attack, a normal attack, she gets an Aqua Tank. And at the end of the turn, she dumps every single one of those to deal light damage.
It's 220k, and you get 5 hits maximum.
And so the thing is that normally, light characters only attack 4 times in a turn. So you're going to have somebody either attack out of turn or be double striking when you do this to get the max out of this. So that's the quest, right? That's the thing you'd want to do out of the ordinary.
Oh, good thing that skill 3 for her attacks out turn. So
Yeah.
that's one of the attacks.
And so this is where we get her 3 red things. She's got Is that one time or one turn of triple attacks on Wild Loader? Let me make sure.
It's one turn. The flurry is one time.
Okay, so she attacks out of turn. When she has her ammo pierced debuff on, which lasts 2 turns under normal circumstances,
And it's on the second button, and they have the same cooldown. So
hmm then she'll flurry. And the thing is that she also provides her own crit with Splash Bullet up here, along with Skill Supplemental, which is also
30k.
it's strong because it so it doesn't affect the Splash Bullet itself, but it helps the ammo pierced that comes after it, and it helps the Zip Boom Bang at the end of the turn.
The question is, does it stack with Summer? Not Summer. Uh, Christmas Illnut. I don't think does because they're
Okay.
both buffs.
hmm
But I would need to like check game with or something like that.
Okay, I'll look at this after this. So here, then there's ammo pierced. There's a hit to defense, and then the ammo pierced itself is for every 10 hits that the enemy takes. Then it takes a ramping amount of supplemental damage. So a maximum of 3 stacks, and it can't be
Yep.
removed.
So
So
from hits 11 to 20, it's 10k. From hits 21 to 30, it's 20k, and 31 and onward, you get 30k.
so
And to
there's
note, she flurries on
yeah. So
skill
that
3
so
with a
there's your
triple
sec.
attack.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So there's your second quest. So you put this on. Uh, And then once you hit Wild Loader, then that is a minimum of 18 hits because she's going to be critting from skill 1, and so she has her Waterside Dual Wielder here. So at minimum, you start with 10k already, and then the next time that your MC normal attacks, then you're going to get it in the middle of that attack very likely.
Also, I double checked the Illnot thing. The Illnot thing I was thinking of is actually her debuff, her a local debuff that goes up to 30k for skill damage specifically.
So it does stack
It
because
should because
they
this is generic
are different.
supplemental.
Right. Okay. Okay. And then, so what we've got after that is her CA, which I'll be honest, a lot of the time that you're using Cucouroux, you're not going to use this, but it's there. It gives her an Aqua Tank with which to end the turn and do 1 extra hit of damage.
I mean, you're really using this for you're reducing the skill cooldowns.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so she does really well with like Utsusemi, for example. She does pretty well with Toei. Um, Would you say that she does well with Ilnot? I don't have Ilnot, so I haven't been
Yes,
able to.
because of what I listed earlier.
Yeah. Then again, she also does enough skill damage to trigger Ilnot also, yeah?
Yeah, she will. I replaced Aglovale on my team for that.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, pretty strong, pretty focused on what she does, but like the payoff is pretty frequent and good, you know?
Yeah, the only issue she has is that she can't always triple attack, but
Mm-hmm.
that's fine because Light has a better way of triple attacking now, aka they made a better grid.
Yeah, it's nice, right? It's like I'm just going into my Omega Rebirth weapons and just bringing up the katana.
Other than that, there's a lot of characters that just already triple attack or minimum double attack already. And
Yeah.
not only that is that what going back to 20N, as long as there's enough debuffs, will always triple attack, and also
Mm-hmm.
it gives enough debuffs back to like keep that up, and
Mm-hmm.
also has crit. She has
Yeah.
crit, guaranteed crit, so even if you don't have a crit grid,
So yeah, like a really, really good character, Cucouroux is. Anything else to say, or we gonna move on?
she's the reason I'm poor right now.
All right. Meanwhile, Henry is lamenting that he's poor because he got drained dry, and he's trying to conserve his resources for the end, closer to the end of summer because he's waiting for all sorts of different shoes to drop. We've got Hallessena. um, with her Divine Death Saw of Death. So, um, the feature on here, is it Death Shore of Death? That's the feature, or is it the charge attack stuff?
So I don't actually haven't actually tested this character yet because we've been busy.
Yeah. So I know in principle that she's a very good character and does really well in like up to Revan's content. So let's go through this one piece at a time then. So what her quests are? Number one, her Citrellus Crush and Craze. She wants to maintain hype. So it's not that she gets punished for getting hit, more like she gets boosted for not getting hit, especially since when she dodges, everybody in the team, every Dark Ally gets CA specs up, and she gets a cut on her really, really big cooldown, Animosity Annihilation.
Okay, so the specs up is actually 200 CA damage stackable up to 100 and 10% CA damage cap up to 50.
150 is more than usual because it usually goes up to like 30% cap.
Usually,
So,
however, A, this thing can get dispelled.
okay.
B, you have to dodge.
Yeah.
And where are we getting these dodges from? A good question.
Uh, you're getting it from the accuracy down on Animosity Annihilation, I guess. Yeah. So the other thing is Gourd Crusher down here. So she wants to get to 3 CAs, a very Izmir style um, thing, but instead of removing a demerit, she gets a stacking buff each time. So gain effects in order based on her Ground Crusher. Step 1 is damage cap.
10%.
Step 2 is she gets a boost to her charge bar gain.
20%.
And then after that, she gets Dispel Cancel for
And that's where
herself.
she herself can is allowed to not get her buffs removed.
Hmm.
It's permanent, and as long as she doesn't die.
Right. And then um, also the hidden thing that's not in the Dipine Death Saw of Death is when her Gourd Crusher's level 3, she also CAs twice. And
Yep.
so, yeah.
And when she CAs, she gets the following effects. Skill 1 activates, and all allies get hype.
Hmm. And getting hype multiple times is additive, as I recall.
It is, but it doesn't. I don't think it increases the duration.
Hmm. So, get splattered over here, the thing that you get from lickety splitting. It'll get a stackable DA TA for all of your Dark Allies. It is removable once
50%
again.
DA, 4% TA. That's pretty
Uh,
good.
it puts on stackable defense down and is 5 hits on its own. Uh, it's kind of like comparable to what Fediel does, but instead of 3 debuffs, it's 2 buffs and a 1 debuff.
It's okay.
Does
You'll play her
different.
with Videal.
Yeah, it's true. Here's maximum smashiness, which you use to get
Get
her
for our
Gourd Crusher up.
dodges.
So, um, she gets 2 of the dodges out from the Death Shore of Death, and when she dodges, she gets 100 meter, and also
Activate skill
activates
1.
Get Splattered. So
Everything activates skill 1.
yeah, so she really just wants to just chainsaw you, right? And it's like you press this button, you get 2 free dodges. Each of those dodges gives you a Get Splattered, so that's the maximum smashiness when it works. The full effect gives you 4 more Get Splattereds, 2 from dodges and 2 from the CAs that you get from her.
Yeah, and then let's see here. You'll get you. It pretty much helps you ramp up
Hmm.
your Gourd Crusher because in one maximum smashiness, as long as she's been targeted,
Hmm.
she will get that within the 3 turns.
Yeah. And then, yeah, the maximum smashiness feeds into that. And then once you actually get Gourd Crusher 3, which is surprisingly fast for someone who needs to CA 3 times, The reward here is Animosity Annihilation, which gives you 5 turns of accuracy down and gives your entire team 100% charge bar. It has a long cooldown, yes, but as we
And this is why we
mentioned,
cheat it.
yeah, it trickles downward as long as she dodges.
So
And so,
the gameplay loop you want to try to do is actually keep the hype up so you can get that cooldown down.
mhm,
Uh, what they have written down is that at hype 4, it's 100% TA and 40% dodge. So you want to find a way to get her all. It's weird because you don't want someone else with hostility up because you still want her to be targeted
mhm,
to some degree.
yeah. But yeah, I've seen this kind of this kit doing really well in, for example, Cosmos. Like the ability to just give your entire team 100 meter while she herself has um,
Many hits.
CA reactivate and things like that. Like that's a huge amount of V2 utility right there. You get your what? It's like minimum 60% FC meter from a 5 chain. You do a bunch of big chunks of damage to move the meter toward red if you wish to move it toward red. And if you don't want to move it toward red, she has. Well, actually, she doesn't move it fully over toward red anyway because she does a nuke after her CA. You know.
You have to actually get the 10 hit though, specifically, because
Hmm.
otherwise you get blasted by the fact that you didn't do enough hits
Hmm.
in order to move over to blue.
Yeah. But
Uh,
yes. Oop, go ahead.
and other things to note is that Dark doesn't actually have bad hype support at all. Like for example, Yukata Etheria gives hype to everything and its mother.
Yeah,
She doesn't even
I've
care
used her
about
a
Dark.
lot.
She doesn't even care if you're a Dark.
Actually, it's easier to do.
Chloe was printed. She also gives Dark Allies hype.
That's my goat.
Wayne also does it, and then Vikala.
Oh,
Anytime Vikala CAs with Utopia up, you get hype.
oh, wow. And what does Vicala's field do buff do again? Oh, it gives dodge. Hmm. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a
it's
that's a
like
fun
that's
team.
actually like literally her best in slot.
Yeah, it's really nice over here. Yeah, if I happen to get Hallessena, I will definitely make a Vicala Hallessena team because that seems fun as hell.
Yep. So yeah, dodging all day, like it's just super good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she's got clear uses. She's being put into a bunch of things already, so good on her. Good job, Halisena. All right,
Good old crazy.
crazy. All right,
You want to talk about the Mars summon real quick?
yeah, let's do it. All right, so they they went in on the Mars art. They always go in on the Mars art. I find that funny,
I
but
was gifted a Mars this weekend.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks, RJ.
Yep.
Where'd the oh no, that's Kaguya. What happened to the Mars? Am I blind? Am I not seeing? Oh, yeah, I am blind. There she is. All right. So Mars Summon um, has become the topic of a lot of things for light players. Like they were wanting this over Cucouroux because when Mars goes to 4 stars, the following things happen that aren't written here. So the call gives not just supplemental normal attack damage, which is 50k per hit. So if you have a team of say 4 characters with flurry, which is something that light can definitely do now, then let's see, 50k times 9 times 4, 50k times 36. That's yeah, that's 180,000. No, it's 1.8 million extra damage on just this buff. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good
And then you also get 20% bonus light damage on that.
for 3 turns. It's dope.
Yeah. And even without like the call, the sub aura is very strong. And hey, when she's 4 stars, you can have the sub aura and call her on turn 1. And so the sub aura is debuff immunity to light allies at battle start 1 time,
Yep, one-time veil.
which is great for when you have a team of 4 characters with flurry and no defense. And then she also gives 100% crit for the first 3 turns, which is great with the character we were just talking about a minute ago.
Hey, look, yeah. Who likes crit?
And so between just the Mars summon and Cucouroux, that's 2 chasers. That's supplemental normal attack damage. That's supplemental skill damage. There's so um
So once you flurries, that you're already at max stacks for that turn.
yeah. And so the combination of all of these things together means that Mars is going to make things real fast when it comes to content that Light can just flurry its way through.
Yeah, I also know that it always has the initial cooldown of 3 turns. So if you are playing lights, that means no cooldown on the first turn.
Hmm.
Which I
Yeah.
don't know why you would play this outside of light, because this call does nothing outside of light.
I if you just want to see the summon, I guess, because I mean,
But
her
you
ass
could
sticking
you
out.
could skin then.
Yeah. But anyway, it's super powerful, very clearly pushed. They knew what they were doing with this one. They're like, "All right, everybody, it's time to make things even shorter." Anything else to say about Mars before we go?
Nope, really good summon.
Really good. All right, last thing for today, at least in terms of characters and releases, Clarisse. So, they didn't rework as much of her base kit as I thought they were going to, actually.
Yeah, let's see here. They changed Nano Analyze and gave her a different passive.
Yeah. So Nano Analyze, they increased the accuracy on the original debuff, so the defense down and the fire attack down, or fire defense down.
And then
They
gave it
inc
20% wind attack down
and then they increased the amount of the defense down. It was 15% and now it's 20%
on the fire defense.
on the fire defense down. And then the new passive is actually a lot. And so that's what makes it okay that like Eclipse and Atomic Resolution didn't change, because Maiden of Keen Insight, when a fire ally casts a buff removing skill, so it's just cast at a spell, it doesn't require successfully removing one like Enyo.
So it behaves like Maria Teresa then.
Yeah, raise her Katanoisi level by 1. And based on that level, she gets the following things. The first time, which for her is going to be when she casts the first Atomic Resolution, then she gets a boost to attack.
Unsurprisingly, 30% perpetuity.
The second time, she gains guaranteed multi-attack. The third time, she gets damage supplement, which with her old kit doesn't do very much because it's all single hits and some of it's plain. But we'll get to there. Then she gets a skill damage amp, which once again with her old kit is kind of not very good because like her original kit had a chance to do damage after her CA that was skill damage. The plain damage was based on the enemy HP and didn't really have much to do with her, and the plain damage on Eclipse. So it's like the old version of her wouldn't have cared that much. And then the last one says damage skills activate twice. And so
Note, the English in-game description of the skill erroneously states that Clarisse gains supplemental damage at level 3. It's actually still skill damage cap.
it's skill damage cap.
Yeah, so
Okay,
3 is 20% skill damage cap, 4 is the amp 10% of
so
skill damage.
that is my fault. I should have checked the Japanese again. Um, so the thing is, though, her old Eclipse had a very small cap, and atomic resolution gaining cap had lower effectiveness based on how low the enemy was, because it was based on current HP. That said, let's get to the actual like 5-starring process where all of this comes together, yeah?
Sure.
So we start with her CA, Sphere Extinction, which now gives a 2-turn cut to her skill cooldowns,
That's pretty good. Yeah,
and
that's
then
actually a lot.
that's a lot, because her skill cooldowns are already relatively short. Like it's a 5-turn cooldown on her debuff, and the fact that it does 3 debuffs on a short cooldown matters in the modern Granblue fantasy. So she actively helps a lot with like debuff omens. And then it does bonus damage based on her Katanoisi, which is up to 5 hits, where the skill damage really starts coming in. What was the damage numbers on that?
On which one?
On the bonus damage for Sphere Extinction.
200k per hit.
Okay, so basically you'll see the same numbers on that you saw on Cucouroux. Okay. Um, so the next thing that upgrades is at level 90, it's Eclipse. You get Eclipse plus plus. So the following things get added. Uh, Number one, it's all foes. Number two, the damage cap goes up to basically 1,000,000 for the
Yeah,
plain damage part.
used to be 270k.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It might as well be
It,
a new skill at this point.
yeah, it does a second hit of fire damage with,
420k.
yeah, a pretty good number. It also does hit to debuff resistance stackable.
Yep.
It also gets the Enyo part where it auto activates when a fire ally successfully removes a foe's buff. So when you atomic resolution and it removes a buff, it will
Did
auto
you,
activate.
at the part where it also delays?
Yeah, it also
Yeah, that's
delays.
that's pretty cool.
That's a thing that they like taking from Cagliostro. Like they got the Grand Cagliostro doing it, and then Summer Clarisse does it, and now Fire Clarisse does it.
I'll let you know, this is still not gonna make me make a blazing mistral.
It's fine. There's no reason to make a Blazing Mistral. You're just going to use whatever you were using for Mana Diver anyway, because we're getting to that part. Um, but yeah, and so this once you get to Katanoisi 5, this double casts, and so you get 2 delays, and yeah, 4 hits of skill damage. The cut to mode bar doesn't really matter anymore, but it's there. Uh, the double debuff resistance stacking down is, nice the harder your content is. Uh, Level 95, we get a atomic resolution plus. This one is one of the more minor ones, but it's fine. It adds gravity to the whole thing. Like the shadow buff to this thing is the remove one buff, triggers both Eclipse and her new Maiden of Keen Insight. So the fact that atomic resolution itself doesn't change that much is fine.
That's a cool icon now.
True. And Nano Analyze also has a really cool animation now. And then here is the 2024 Clarisse thing, because she gets a version of the cow buff. So
I
uh,
wonder
her,
why.
herself and Fire MC, they get to do some excitation. So the tooltip for this one is not deceiving. One of you gets the top buff, and Clarisse gets the bottom buff. It's the same buff. It just says
One says MC, the other says Clarisse.
yeah. Okay, so here's all of the things that you get. And the reward for this is the reward for getting to Katanoisi 5 and level 100. So, first of all, uh, undispellable, unremovable, permanent um, dispel cancel. on MC and Clarisse both. Debuff resistance up. Skill damage up. Skill damage cap up. Uh,
Oh, let me get those numbers. 40% skill damage, 20% cap.
damage skill cooldowns cut by a turn. And on MC's normal attacks, 3 hits of fire damage to a foe. And both of you get that.
Yeah, so as long as the other person attacks, they'll get 3 hits of damage.
Mm-hmm. And so we go over to versions of the
I
main character who can double strike. Yep, go ahead.
I do like the part where it says that your durations cannot be shortened.
Yeah, that's the new text on Dispel Cancel. All right, so there's a class that for the MC that it has a long cooldown on a double strike skill here, but it's a red skill, so it gets it cooldown cut by a bit, and then yeah, it benefits wildly from this. There's other ways to get double strike as a MC as well, or triple strike if you're an Onmyoji. So these things work insanely well together. And Katanoizi has a very, very funny way to build itself to 5 as quickly as possible. Because there's a fire character who resets his skill cooldowns every turn, and one of them dispels. Then he dies, but it's okay. Our boy Ragazzo, he can, hit 3 dispels in the first 3 turns?
Something like that.
Yeah. And then he gives way to somebody else who then also dispels. And so you can have that ready on like turn 3 or 4 quite easily without giving up any character slots in order to dispel. Because Ragazzo giving way to like Frau is really standard now. It's like it's how you get in Frau, you know? Oh my god, my Ragazzo doesn't have any awakenings. He's just trucking along without needing them. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, go
Other
ahead.
things that are kind of nice is that Chaos Ruler also benefits because Bleak Disorder is a great button,
Yeah, this is very true.
and we have
Um,
ways to get those debuff numbers up. She already gives 3.
Yeah. This makes, by the way, Mana Diver with the Fenny staff really funny because you will attack and then you just wait for 3 different sets of nukes to go off. But anyway, like, Clarisse, this version of Clarisse, because of this buff, is seeing play at all levels of content again. Like, if you're full autoing an EWR or something like that, she works. If you're attacking Super Ultimate Bahamut, she works. Lucy Zero, she works. Arcarum works. Um, the fact that she has short cooldowns and double dispels means that once Nightmare 200 for fire favored Unite and Fight comes around, she'll work. Like, this is a big glow up.
Yeah, the only thing that's sad is that half of Zeta doesn't work with her because Zeta's dispel is not a cast.
Yeah, the one that she auto does.
Yeah. However, the one that triggers Eclipse is fine,
Hmm. But
and
yeah,
also because you only get 5 stacks, it's not that hard. She can get it herself fine too because it's 6 turn cooldown on a tongue resolution. It's like super
hmm
fast.
but yeah, huge glow up for Clarisse, and given how long it's been since Fire Clarisse was like used,
Relevant,
yeah, exactly. Then
like
yeah,
7 years.
yeah, it's been a long time. And so yeah, this is a great update. Like she does a lot. Um, I was saying it's like she doesn't defend you from anything, but she dispels a lot, like a lot, and that goes a long way, honestly.
I mean, she defends you from debuffs.
She,
Asterisk, except for these situations that will kill you.
yeah. Um, that's true. She protects you from debuffs. But
She will not
like
hurt you from a god side, though.
yeah, the enemy type that Like she's good against, once again, nightmares, um, V2s that ask you for, things like debuffs or hit count or skill damage or number of skills pressed. She's good against all of those kind. Um, like I already talked about how a lot of the time you bring in Frau for a lot of hard content these days, and Frau just heals for so freaking much now that she covers up a lot of holes. And this whole Frau dispelling thing helps Clarisse out too. But yeah, anything else to say?
I I think by the time Frau comes out, she doesn't need it. I don't think she might need at most one of the D spells.
I think it is just one of the dispels that
Yeah,
gets Clarisse to 5 if you don't pack a dispel on the MC, which I mean I wouldn't. Actually, maybe I would. It counts as a delay while Clarisse is out on the field. Just delay forever. This is what I do to beat up Grand Order HL. Like I use water Clarisse for that. Maybe I'll use fire Clarisse for it now and just pack a bunch of dispels on an MC with multi strike. Bring in
joking answer.
Frau.
Bring in a Blazing Bistro because it gives 2 buffs. Don't actually. This weapon still sucks.
Look. I understand that I have a bunch of moons, but I'm not using them on Blazing Mistral. All right. That said, let's see
Waiting for the
here.
buffs this side games. It'll happen.
But
You,
yeah.
you 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 want people buy these weapons, right?
All right. But yeah, that's it for the new news. Um, we're what 4 days out now from the big news drop, like one of the three big news drops of the Granblue Fantasy calendar. So
Yeah, one of 3. Yeah.
yeah, anniversary, this one and Fest. So anyway,
I mean,
uh,
technically, this is a fest. Technically,
I'm talking about Granblue Fantasy Fest, not Extra Fest though.
I don't know. This one announced a Narmaya plush, so
That I was if we didn't have um the summer stream going, maybe I'd do a Granblue Radio where we just go over some of the new merchandise again, because some of this stuff is pretty cracked out again. Like the beer caddy is so good. Sorry, the drink floater.
Yep. Let me go look at that one again.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. That said, I will see everybody on Friday night. Because I mean, what am I
The
gonna do?
usual
Not watch?
translations.
Yeah, not watch the Stella Magna concert for free? Not watch the cast stage show for free? We're eating good, DJ.
But until then, stay safe.
Yeah. I hope you don't get sick, DJ. Like I
I
sound
mean,
like
I
this, but
can
that's
hear,
because I'm
I can
yelling.
hear, I can hear in my voice that I'm not well.
Yeah, me, I'm just yelling. I was just yelling a lot. But who knows? Maybe I'm also sick and I have a sore throat. But anyway,
Until then.
until then, thanks y'all. Talk to you later.